We know our enemy. We've seen behind the curtain. And they have a weakness. An Achilles heel.
They are arrogant and completely underestimate what they are up against. They forget who the game master is. They forget how wise this old demon can be. So, let's see who among them survives this killing field.
When your timeline reaches its Armageddon, what's a kid to do?
I'm not a...
Snag the keys to your mom's experimental ship, of course.
That's not quite how it happened.
Drift aimlessly in the rift between dimensions, trying to figure out how to operate it.
Now hold on a sec.
Pick up a few hitchhikers.
Hi!
Hello.
And maybe solve a disturbing mystery that could lead to the destruction of reality itself.
You know, if there's time...
There's always time.
I'm not so sure about that.
Get in on the adventure with the Rift Riders on Indiegogo.
Watch this.
Oh, hallelujah.
Get up right now.
I'm hearing something real powerful for someone.
And now listen to this.
Sent that man that reaching out to hurting people. Hallelujah. This is what you do. Something more than it was. Yes. Listen to this right here. I heard then it was like the Lord spoke that through me then. Oh, there it is.
Get up right now.
There it is again. Sent that man that reaching out to hurting people. Hallelujah. This is what you do. Something more than it was.
I like that, don't you? Get up right now.
There it is again, so strong. Oh yes. Sent that man that reaching out to hurting people. Hallelujah. This is what you do. Something more than it was. Amen.
Welcome to another NerdCap. We're going to end off our Tuesday night before we head into Hump Day, talking a little nerdy with each other. It's going to be a good time.
How's it
Certainly
going,
it's
everyone?
going to be a good time. Craig, man, what's up? Craig is joining
doing
the
great.
panel this week. Craig, what's going on, man? What you been up to?
I'm doing all right. My campaign, I'm in my last 6 hours, but it's not about me or anything. Just glad to finally be at the end, you know what I mean, at the road for this entire incredible journey. And, it's been amazing, this community. I just went to my first comic convention this weekend. That was kind of cool as well. So
Sweet, man. So you've never been to a Comic-Con before, huh?
no, never, no. Stayed out, was outside one in Toronto selling weed back when I was a kid, but no, never went in.
Okay. All right. So, yeah. So dealing out refreshments.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just another vendor, right?
Yeah. Outside.
You used to be outside. Nowadays, I think you can probably in certain states you can be inside. You can get yourself a table.
It's completely legal in Canada now. So we have convenience stores. So
yeah, there you go. So that's nice. So what was it? What'd you think? Was it?
I had a blast. I mean, I had an awesome time. Everyone was really great up until the local comic shop guy came at me for being part of Comicsgate. Yeah.
Well, you know.
Yeah.
I got a lot of thoughts about comic book shop owners, and some of them are fantastic people, and then some of them are, well, it's just like about anywhere you go. You got some good ones, you got some bad ones, you know.
Right.
You know, you got the kind of people like, nah, I'm done with you. Don't think so, guys. Yeah, that's but anyway, man, it's fine. So you had a table at this one?
No, I was just testing the waters, right? So I came in.
Okay.
Well, no, I was. I helped with teardown. I got to know the owner. I handled his ticket sales for him, the front vendor. I even got to drive down a couple, like one particular big name artist. So that was kind of cool. I got to be the chauffeur, so to speak.
All right, and so this comic shop owner just he's hassling you for no reason.
He saw the attention I was getting and how popular I was getting. You know how people get jealous very quickly. So obviously he looked me up on social media.
Yeah, you're a new guy. You're a new guy, a vet, making a comic book. The comic book looks awesome, by the way. And so, you know, you're getting some attention. You're getting some attention from probably people that vote on a different side of the aisle than this guy does. If you're Christian and conservative in the entertainment industry, especially in comics, they pretty much tell you what yard you got to play in. like you get to play over there, guys. And like, all right, well, we'll go play in that yard and we'll build ourselves one heck of a playground. And that's what's happening. People are doing that. We're building one heck of a playground, having a great time doing it. So, Todd, what's up, man? You're muted. I don't know if you know that or not. Did you know you were muted?
No, I didn't, obviously.
How's it going, man?
I said a lot of smart things while I was muted.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, there's no witnesses to that, so we'll have to take your word for it, man. Yeah.
Doing good. Had the family in for Thanksgiving, and just hanging out, having a good time. My son was going back to college on Sunday and wrecked his car, and I was trying to figure that out. So other than that, everything's been good. Yeah, he's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, just messed up the car.
Thanksgiving is a very American holiday. I know
we do it a week prior, but yeah, it's obviously an imitation for sure.
The Americans, you got turkey. We're gonna have to. Do you guys got turkey up there?
Yeah, of course, absolutely. Right. I mean,
we smoked the turkey this year. We smoked that sucker.
It seems pretty weird for people outside of United States because it feels like you guys do basically two Christmases, one after the other.
Right. We just don't do presents on the first one. We save the credit card bill for the one in December.
Right.
So here we have turkey for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, and we do ham for Christmas. We have a Christmas ham, so that's our tradition. But good stuff. So hopefully soon Todd and I will have some site mock-ups that we're happy with to show you guys, and a list of features that fundmycomic.com will have on its beta release. So we're still waiting on that. So chomping at the bit, excited
you're
about
trying
it.
to make, and you're trying to make something that everyone can use, like it's not just
everybody.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Everybody can use this. Yeah, that's the plan. So
that's what we need.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot going into it. So I know like Bancroft is making his own Shopify or something.
Yeah, he's doing just a plug-in.
Yeah, and a lot of people do. Anybody can do that. I mean, that's that's fine. But we want to create something that is a singular platform for people to go to, in addition to, or maybe instead of some of the other ones they're going to. But we're also offering a 2% platform fee, which is insane. Now it may go up after the first 2 or 3 years, but we're going to keep it as low as we can for as long as we can. Todd and I aren't trying to get rich. We're just trying to feed our families. Todd has a larger family than I do because he doesn't know how to stop, apparently. I thought for a second Todd might be Catholic with as many kids as he's got.
No. It's only 5. It's not that many.
It's only 5?
Okay, wow.
Right, Pablo. Even Pablo's like, come on.
Yeah, and Mexican families typically are huge, but 5 is quite a lot for today.
Pablo's Mexican and he's telling you it's a lot. Come on.
It's not that it's too much. It's great.
Yeah, it's
can't
fine,
have too much of a good thing, right?
Yeah, that's what causes all those kids. That's what happens. Too much of a good thing. So, Pablo, man, welcome tonight.
Yeah, hello, thank you.
Tonight is Pablo's first night in the hot seat. So this is kind of a, I don't know. I jokingly say it's like a testing grounds for creators. It's not really. It's we'll mess with you a little bit because, well, if we're not messing with you, we don't like you.
Sure.
Quite honestly, but really, we'll get to know you a little bit. We'll talk about your campaign, but we'll really dive in and get to know a lot about you. Those prying questions, and all that kind of stuff. Get to know your shoe size. And
it's too bad that my camera decided to die on me just as I logged in, because I believe you got a chance to see me for a brief second.
I did, yeah.
I'm not particularly interesting, not particularly ugly or beautiful, just a guy. But,
you're not going to get any simps tonight, is what you're trying to say. It's not,
not very likely. I guess I'm happy that I let my work speak for myself instead of my face.
Yeah, right. So we have to speak. I did a video today, and I released. It's actually did pretty good. It's doing pretty good so far. So, but I was telling people, like, look, we do have to speak for our work. The days of letting it speak for itself is over. We do have to get out and actually have a personality and get to know people, and let them get to know us. But it is about building that platform, and you either want to, like, the idea is you want to create that mob of enthusiastic readers. Ideally, you want a simp army is what you want, but that's hard to, those people that'll buy anything and everything you do. Every word you say is gold. It's from the heavens, they'll just keep giving you all their money. That's a hard one to get a hold of, but I'm just happy for a mob of enthusiastic fans. That's where we're going at. But yeah, you're on your way, man. You gotta get there. You gotta. So you are from Mexico.
I'm Mexican. That's right. I'm not trying to really push that forward. Just a bit of an explanation as for my accent and all that. Not particularly Mexican in the cultural sense, perhaps. I'm influenced by artists and ideas from all over. So yeah, it's not like my brand or anything, but yeah, it's an interesting.
So you're not trying to use that
me.
to sell your comic?
Maybe at times, but I don't like that. I don't like it. I just maybe for some people that's important.
I don't have that card to play. Who knows if I did? Maybe I would. Yeah. But there's really, honestly, if I would be like, hey, I'm a white Christian conservative comic book author and artist, that would probably get me canceled these days. I don't think it's like that's,
just for that. Yeah.
It's like, what, you're proud about being white? And I'm like, well, I'm not ashamed of who I am. I'm pretty happy.
But you play the hard work card, Luke.
The what?
You play the hard work card.
I do. I work hard. I work real hard. I work like a.
That's the thing about this scene that blew me away. I just didn't know how people find all the hours in the day. Like, you see some people go stream, and they're still putting out their books. It's like,
it's hard to do it, man. Especially if you're going to put them out on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So, Pablo, you got a family?
I have a very long-term relationship, a girlfriend that should be by all rights, my wife at this point. We've been together for more than 15 years, but
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I consider myself married to her. It's just that we haven't. I perhaps don't like the government,
Yeah, screw those guys.
Yeah,
screw the government.
Not the government in general, but just the idea of having to prove my relationship status to some sort of authority. Maybe that's why I haven't married. Why I'm not married yet. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think we call that like a common law marriage here.
Mm-hmm.
I think we do that. Yeah. If you've been together so long, it's like, it is what it is. So, well, man, that's awesome. So, we'll get to know a little bit more about you as we go along. But let's say hi to the chat. As always, the chat is they're the bomb, man. They're the reason why we're here. So we've got Mad Ruth on the panel and in the chat room. Red Shift on the panel and in the chat room. We've got Greg L. Levitri in here. Welcome, Gregory. It's nice to have you here tonight. Yeah. And we've got Mo Biggs, of course. Sounds like Luke's trying to line up ARO as a guest speaker in his new ministry. That's pretty funny. We got Tank Fair in the house tonight. Welcome, Tank. Ahoy, all you. What is that? Sagacious scallywags? Sagacious scallywags? Wow, that's somebody bought a dictionary. I love it, man. I love it. I absolutely do. So, yeah. Tank says, how dare you have your own opinion? Well, my bad. Can't help it. We've got Ray Haylock in the house. Ray, Tug's web guy, is here. And nice to have him around. You know what? I think I'm going to try to send you a link so you can jump on in if you want to. I'm just going to throw it in that Fun My Comic issue there. There you go. So you can hop on in if you want to tonight, man. We got Pixel Trader in the house. Pixel Trader. Fried turkey is epic. You know what? Fried turkey is pretty good. But, man, that smoked turkey, I've never had turkey that juicy. Man, we brined that thing for 24 hours in a marinade. And then injected more butter and spice and seasoning in there than what happened to you? Did you cut your beard? Did you trim up? What did you do, Ray? You look different.
Not wearing a hat?
Oh, he's not wearing a hat. That's what it is. He only has a hat on. You look different. You look different. I don't know what it is. Yeah, so we got pictures right here. We've got AGE Comics. Hail, everyone. Hello, buddy. It's nice to have you here tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Greg says, by the way, Elon is just as bad as the previous who ran Twitter. I'm suspended from Twitter again. I wonder why, Greg. I have no idea. Huge question mark on that one. What on earth could be happening?
I actually got suspended also recently, but I think that so far he hasn't made any changes. So it's just the old system that are working again, as they were before, I believe.
Yeah, nothing seems new.
I've had Facebook.
Easier to get now, isn't it?
Sorry, I was going to say I've had Facebook since it first came out, and I just recently got hit for making a joke about someone getting ran over. They gave me a strike of inciting violence. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Careful.
Yeah.
I commented on someone's tweet today, and Twitter asked me before it posted, like, are you sure you want to say that? Because most people don't say these kind of things.
That pisses me off so much when I get that little message.
And I was like, yeah, I want to say that. Of course I do. I have no shame.
Luke's getting his first. Yeah, I get one or two of those a day.
Yeah. Well, I called someone an idiot. They're like, do you really want to call him an idiot? I'm like, I want to call him worse. You're lucky I'm settling with idiot. That's what happens here. Like, yeah, come on. Yeah, there's a whole lot more than that. We're going to talk about our favorite, it's Christmas time now. We can start talking about, we're going to talk about our favorite Christmas movies tonight. But before we do that, can we just take a second to admire how many clout chasers found their way to Twitter and Facebook today?
Yeah.
I mean, so many people out there trying to throw shade at other people and, like, oh, and this and that. And, there was this big, long thread about why you're not selling your comic book. Yeah. And none of it had anything to do with hustling and making connections with other people, with connecting with an audience. None of it had anything. It talked about audience sizes, but it didn't talk about connecting with the audience. And here's the thing. So here's the deal. We all know comic books, it's a niche market, right? It's limited in and of itself, but people who read, that's not limited, right? There's a whole mess of people buying manga, right? And those people weren't manga fans before they got their hands on a manga book, right? They're out there, they're watching anime. They weren't anime fans before they started watching anime. They're fans of good stories. And what they did is someone introduced them to a good story that happened to be anime or manga, right? That's what happened. And now they're hooked and they're fans. And that stuff is available forever. It's so easy to get your hands on that stuff now, right?
And I bet you most people don't even know who the artist is if you were to point them out to them.
Yeah, probably not, no.
Right.
No.
But we have, but we've got this idea that, we've only got this small little group that we can market to. And then
Yeah.
What was that?
So,
that was
someone's
my
got a lot of
birds.
birds. Yeah.
My office is outside. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, I've been in this scene for a few years, and definitely I've been noticing there's a new trend where people are basically feeding this line that you must put in the mandatory time in the chat, you must put in the mandatory work in the channels, you must have your own channel to promote others. Like, I don't know where this authoritarian type attitude is coming from. Yeah,
that's the thing. Like, that's what I put out the video today. I said, it's not a must, but it's a best practice. It's like,
of course,
you're going to connect more, because at the end of the day, it's about connecting with an audience, right? So there's this guy that I've seen on Facebook that something homeless homeboy, or something like that is the character. He dresses up as his character, goes to grocery store parking lots, puts his books up out on his trunk, and sells the books to people coming in and out of the grocery stores. Like,
that sounds pretty cool.
It's a successful hustle if it works. Yeah.
Right? It's like he said, look, everybody's a fan. Everybody's a potential fan. These people aren't buying comic books because they haven't seen a comic book they want. But if you give them a comic book they want, they're going to buy it. And that's where I think we mess up with the market things and trying to figure all of that stuff out. We try to get real analytical about it. When the thing is like, hey, do you like comic books? No. Well, why don't you like comic books? Right? So that, I don't know. I start every pitch like that. Do you like comic books? And I wait for a yes or a no. If they say yes, then I go on with my pitch. What kind of comic books do you like? Then we go from there. But if they say no, that just helps me refine things a little bit. It's like, I said, do you like comic books? They're like, no, okay. Well, do you like good stories? And they're like, well, most people are going to say yes. Most people, I rarely hear, no, I like to read and watch the crap ones, the ones with subpar family conflict and
Then I feel bad about myself after reading. Yeah,
I like to feel. Yeah, I like to think, wow, this was shallow and pointless. Right? So that's kind of. So most people will say yes, and then I'll ask, what kind of stories do they like? Do they particularly like? And people wind up saying they like superheroes and things like that. And I'm like, well, look, this is a little different way to ingest the story, but really it's just all about the story at the end of the day, that's what we're doing here. It's what we're all about. So, you just gotta get creative with that stuff, but
But you know, it's already a reality in what you describe in Europe, in France in particular. If you go to a comic book shop, you get old people, young people, men and women, little children, teenagers. You get everyone buys comic books over there.
Right.
So it's something specific to the United States, perhaps Canada also. These and well, other parts of the world as well. But this idea that comic books are superheroes for children, you know, that's really not the case for the rest of it. For
yeah, you know what I blame? I blame the Batman series in the '60s. It took an otherwise serious story, and
let's not forget too the period of the '80s where we specifically channeled TV shows that went to selling toys, right? G.I. Joe, Transformers, you know, Bang Bang Bang, right? With all that line, that's also kind of where that stigma came from. So.
Yeah, now some of those stories were good too, though. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
don't get me wrong,
they were good stories. Yeah, I enjoyed them as well. Mo says, you know, when you're slanging crack, offer them a free book. Now they're hooked on 2 of your products. And I agree. I'll tell you what, that I send out free PDFs, and I will give away. So, okay, Pablo, you may not know. Ray, you may not even know this. Craig, you may not even know this. So right before I had my big nap, we were working on a deal with a company called Liberty Distribution. And they were supposed to have had a deal for 9 comic book slots to be put into 60 test market stores for Spencer's. And that was going to be a 12-month test run. If it went well, now they had this like these clauses where, you know, after a few months, if a title wasn't selling, they could say we could switch it out for something else. But it was a 3-month leeway, so they would have to tell us, and then they had 3 months before the new book had to be in there, but they still had to have that other book's title, like one's in it. This whole weird thing, right? Oh, I'm breaking the NDA on the NDA. Yeah, you know that doesn't exist, so I don't have to worry about it. So here's what happened. So we're signing this deal. We print up 3,000 copies of each one of these books. There's 7 creators involved, 9 different titles, 5 different publishers. Okay, and these are supposed to be going out. We're told now that the Spencer's wants to up how many stores it is, how many copies they're getting, and all that kind of stuff. Then I get sick, Randy gets sick. We think we're going to die. We don't. We wake up, and we wake up to the biggest crap storm of a grift. You just don't want to be a part of this thing, right? So we wind up, we're part of this thing. We realize this is fake, that it's not real. No one, every time we're asked for contracts and things like that, we're like, this is not real. There was never even any proof the books were even picked up from the warehouse. Nothing, right? The only thing we knew for certain, the books were printed, because we got pictures from the printer doing that. And someone else, not the guy in charge of the company, was in charge of brokering the deal for the print runs. And so now we find out that, you know, this guy makes up this other third-party company, and that, you know, oh, I couldn't talk about it because I had an NDA, and this and that. And it just became this big, drawn-out issue. Needless to say, I would never print 3,000 copies of my of one of my books, because I'm not selling that many copies. You know, I get, you know, 100 or so backers, 200 backers, you know, on some campaigns, a little more. And so it's like, I'm not printing 3,000 copies of a book, right? So I've got way more issue 1s than what I really need. So I literally have been giving some of those things away. You know, like I'm selling them, but like if we're at a special event or someone's on the fence, I say, I'll tell you what, here, I'm going to give you this book. You go read it. If you like it, you come back. I'll sell you the rest. Okay. And I've had people do that. They've read the book, come back and bought the other 7 or 8, you know. So yeah, it's.
I did get a nice bundle out of that long shots deal though, so thank you for that.
Yeah, that long shots deal. Talk about making lemonade out of lemons. Yeah.
Recapping the infamous Spencer incident.
Oh yeah. Because I know Pablo doesn't know about it. Yeah.
The Spencer incident. Wow.
Yeah. We call it the You know how?
Yeah, what a thing to wake up to.
Yeah, you know how in A Christmas Story you've got the Scott Farkas affair. This is called the Spencer's incident.
That's my favorite Christmas movie.
So
I designed the
seen the new one
for Anthony.
I have seen the new one. So yeah, let's go ahead and get off of this stupid internet drama for a minute.
I did. I just watched the new one the other day for the because they'd sequel back in the day called Christmas Story 2.
Oh, it was bad.
It was horrible. It was horrible. And then they did the other like offshoot of the Thanksgiving one, which was also bad. So every time they've tried to do it, like a follow up, it was
done well.
Right. So I watched the new one and I was pleasantly surprised.
You know, me too. Have you guys seen it?
Farkas even made a cameo.
Right. Like a lot of them came back.
Yeah. The mother is retired, so she didn't come back. Yeah. And the teacher just opted not to come back for whatever reason. But other than that.
And the guy that played the dad, and he passed.
He passed. So
he wasn't in there.
But yeah, other than that, I think even Scott Farkas's like little toady has a cameo. You see him briefly.
Yeah, but he's there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good. I mean, there were some cheesy parts, but for the most part, I mean, at one point I literally got choked up. I got choked up.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, it kind of got me a little bit. So, I mean, I'm just, I don't want to give away spoilers for people, but there's, the guy that played the dad is dead, so obviously he's not in the movie.
They write that in, yeah.
Yeah, so so this is actually the first year that I am experiencing really the kind of the loss of my dad. So my dad passed away last year while I was in the hospital. And so last year during this time I was still in the hospitals and trying to recover. I didn't get out. I didn't get home until sometime in January. So it became, so I was really, my brain was focused on a lot of other things and not really the loss of my dad, So it's funny because this year I'm really experiencing kind of some of those elements of loss with him. So a couple of those moments in that one, like when it's kind of reminiscing about his dad, I was like, oh my gosh, it just hit me. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, screw this stupid movie.
You know what part like really got me like lumped up was when like, I won't, again, no spoilers, but the Christmas present incident. And then he goes, well, how did he know? And he goes, he knows, he always knows, which is a throwback to when they were in the original Santa Claus. And like, dude, as soon as he said that, and I heard the father's voice in my head from the previous movie, like and I'm alone with my 3 dogs, and like I'm looking at my one dog looking at me, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm like yelling at my dog.
Judgment.
They did a really good job of giving the dad like some more gravity, I think, than he had in the original film.
Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. I loved the relationship with the buddies,
with Schwartz and Flick.
Yeah, that was great. Of course, one of them owns a bar. Of course.
Yeah, he knew that. Yeah, that's like perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Oh man, so the movie was filmed in Russia, and there is this one scene where these patrons of the bar are sledding down a hill and they're all drunk, so they're slamming into cars and benches and trees, and it's pretty funny, right? And I thought it was great, and then I noticed at the end all the Russian names. I'm like, wait, hold on a second, there's a lot of Russians in this. And my wife was like, I didn't want to ruin it for you. It's not filmed at the old house in northern Indiana. They wouldn't let him film the movie there. So it is in in Russia.
Yeah.
And so they've got them. They rebuilt everything, the whole town.
Dude, they did. How awesome did they rebuild Higbee's, the house, the street? Like, you would never have known.
Yeah, I didn't know, right? So then I'm thinking, oh wait, that makes this so much more fun for me, because those were extras that probably didn't speak English, and we all know Russians, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're already day drinking. They're already drunk. They probably just handed them sleds, and they saw the hill, and they took no direction whatsoever, and those slams were probably real.
Yeah, Russians in their natural habitat doing what they do.
Exactly. Russians in their natural habitat. So there you go. That's pretty good. So all
I haven't
right.
seen this, but I gotta check it out, eh?
Oh yeah, it's great.
Christmas Story 1 was gonna be one of my.
You know, there's times when Craig will say things, and I'm like, he's very Canadian.
Yeah, that was just one of them.
Right? Yeah, I gotta check it out, eh?
So there's two ways you can
do.
There's two ways that you can watch it without like totally like pirating. Is either HBO Max if you have it, and if not, if you have Roku or Amazon, like a Fire Stick or something, there's an app called Freebie, Freebie. They have it on there with ads. So
nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
I actually didn't. Never. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was laughing at Mo Biggs' comment. I was gonna throw in there and sorry as well. Saying sorry for saying A.
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. I apologize, eh?
I gotta correct Mo Biggs. I gotta give the new one a 7, like a 7 out of 10. If the original is a 10 out of 10, if we're comparing it to the original, so the original is 10.
Yeah.
It's a 7 out of 10. Yeah. It's not as good, but it holds up well.
Well, here's the thing: they drew on the nostalgia, but they didn't lean on that as their plot points. It had its own storyline, which was refreshing, because right now a lot of these times, you know, a lot of times these days, people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to actually write a story. It's either all fan service or it's no fan service.
Right.
They did a decent job on that. I think another movie that did that well, not a Christmas movie, but was Top Gun Maverick.
I haven't seen it
Top
yet.
Gun, that was exceptional. That was great.
Yeah.
I really
that's
liked
what
that.
movies should be.
Top Gun was amazing. I was really surprised at that movie. Yeah.
They used clips, but for nostalgia's sake, like to.
Yeah, but like how often they did it like maybe once in the beginning, and then like at the end when you realize that the obituary is literally the story of the first movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the only 2 times they used the clips.
Yeah, it's well. I thought it was well done.
Yeah.
Now I gotta say, my favorite Christmas movie of all time is Elf.
Die Hard.
No.
Die Hard.
Elf. I loved Elf.
Elf. Yeah, I'm not a huge. What's his face? I'm not very. Will Ferrell. Yeah, I'm not a huge Will. His whole shtick has always been running around in his underwear. You know what I mean? Like,
just like Bryan Cranston. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. For I'm saying for like comedy's sake. Like, I just never get like I was never a big fan of his.
I am the one who knocks.
Yeah.
And I know I'm in the minority there. I know I'm in the minority with the whole not being a fan of Will Ferrell. So. Yeah, it is what it is.
He's got a new Christmas movie out this year.
Does he?
Oh, wow. Spirited. Him and Ryan Reynolds.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw an ad for that, but I didn't see the trailer.
It's worth the watch, man.
I saw a bit of a.
It gets a little woke in there for a minute, but I think it did it. I think it did it to parody both sides. You know, so it kind of parodies both sides to kind of be like, look how stupid this is. Like, you guys are all just falling into the game. Like, this is the This is the whole game. You're being played and you're falling right into it. So it kind of has that vibe to it. But yeah, it was pretty good. I liked it. Mo saw it. He rated it okay out of 10. Yeah, it was okay out of 10. It was funny. It had some funny parts. It was heartfelt in some places. Did anybody watch the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special?
No, I don't have Disney Plus yet.
All right.
Didn't even know it was there.
It was.
I stand with Gina.
It was.
So is it the Star Wars holiday special over again?
Oh, not nearly as bad. No. Yeah. So I kind of want to show it tonight, but I know we'll get a strike. I love the virtual reality scene where the old man's perving on that video, on that holiday Star Wars.
Oh, the Star Wars, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, where the old man Wookiee is like, he's yeah, it's pretty bad. Well, Bunny agrees with you that Will Ferrell's overrated. I think he's hilarious, but Spirited was okay. But no, it was just okay. But it was a 45-minute standalone chapter that they said was supposed to progress the plot, but I don't think it really did. It revealed like one thing that was not previously known, and that could be part of something that sends them off into a plot, chasing a plot thread. But I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what you would call it, but people are praising this little. You can't even call it a movie. You can't call it an episode. You can't. I don't know what you can call it. It's 45 minutes. That's all it is.
I was just gonna ask, how long was it?
Yeah. So, but they're praising this because they're like, oh, well, Marvel and Disney's found a new way to tell stories. Rather than these long episodic seasons where people, peter out towards the end. And I'll warn you, people peter out towards the end because you're writing crap stories, right? So, She-Hulk, the worst finale of anything I'd ever seen as far as a superhero TV show goes. The worst. Absolute garbage. Whoever came up with that idea, they need to be taken out behind the woodshed and they need to be beat with a rubber hose. That was a terrible idea. They need to be doing the executives' laundry for a month for putting that piece of garbage out. That was so bad. But here's the deal.
Segue into Iger. Have you been watching what Iger's been saying recently? There, he wants to bring everything back center again. He doesn't want to go left anymore, and he says he's got to listen to voices on the right. I don't know if I give it much.
I don't believe him. I mean, he's responsible for.
This is all his fault.
Yeah, he started it. In fact, some of the stuff that we're seeing now was first implemented under his leadership. So yeah, he's just giving lip service because he wants a bonus. He's a politician above all else. And but they're praising him because they're like, hey, because they don't want to do these episodic things, and a full movie, is the budget's too high or things like that. That maybe they can do these like single issues, and they can do more of these, scatter them out. You get bits of the story, to kind of like tide you over in between movies or series or whatever.
I think they've done a really great job at sort of cheapening the feeling of the Marvel movies, with so many side projects, and this little thing, I think maybe it smells a little bit like that, where it's not meant to be special anymore, Even the fact that it's not in cinemas at all.
That's the dilemma when you have a streaming service that's only for memberships. Is you're just making content for the sake of making content because you have to, right?
So Mo agrees that if it was an ongoing series, he probably wouldn't watch, but this special was fine. Maybe that's the way to go. Maybe that'll get people, to give it a shot again, because they've just been delivering some stinkers. So I mean, my wife has never seen the Daredevil Netflix show, and so we've been watching that. I've watched the first season. I haven't seen the second and third season, but I've seen the first season. We got done watching that first season, and she was like, there were moments when she was like, and I'm like, I know, right? Like, they didn't follow any of the tropes. They just like you can't do that. You can't, and they did it. I mean, it was great. It was well done. It was well written, well paced, and that finale from the first season was, I mean, that's how you leave a season,
Right.
That's how you leave it, and they did a good job. So, really enjoyed that.
I know it's been talked about to death, but like that hallway fight scene in the first season is by far one of the best choreographed fight scenes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Whoever choreographed those fight scenes were
great actors, great everything on that series.
I like that they're bringing that Matt Murdock into the MCU. That's
the MCU,
nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
But sad that he had to come back. Ooh. Sad that he had to come back for She-Hulk.
Yeah, I heard, did they really cuck him out in She-Hulk, or was people just over exaggerating?
I think it's maybe a little over exaggerated. He was cucked, but I mean, honestly, it's a Hulk, okay? Like, let's be realistic and talk about fiction for a second.
But blind green babies.
Right. So it's a Hulk, right?
Mm-hmm.
So as awesome as Daredevil is, it's still a freaking Hulk.
Right.
I mean,
but that's the plot point, that she sleeps with him in Hulk form. That's right. That's what happens.
No, she doesn't sleep with him in Hulk form.
Oh, okay.
No, that's Matt Murdock doesn't care. He
Sorry,
sleeps
he's
with
got
him.
that in my head now.
And I'll tell you what, the only thing that was on point from the comic books was her promiscuity. I was like, yeah, that's in the comics, yeah. Yeah, that's what she's all about. Now, I haven't watched Werewolf by Night yet. I've heard it was really good, actually, and I know that Giant Size Man Thing is in the movie, and Chris Scalf was one of the animators on that, and Chris did a cover for me for the current campaign I'm on. So yeah, I have a connection to the Marvel Universe. It's not that impressive.
That's actually pretty cool.
It is cool. It's not as impressive as we want to make.
So have you seen the new Santa Claus show on Disney?
I have. We've started watching. I haven't finished it. It's kind of sucks. It's not very good.
Yeah, I wonder why they chose to do that in the show format rather than a movie again.
They're broadcasting
Santa Clauses.
things.
Yeah,
the Santa Clauses. They're broadcasting a few things. Clearly, we're going to have a brown Santa. I don't have a problem with that. I don't care. I don't have a particular lean on that. But that's what they want to do. Now, my wife read an article. She said that originally they wanted to have different mythological creatures in there, like centaurs and stuff like that or whatever. And Tim Allen was like, whoa. What's it called? It's called Christmas. It's about Christ. We're keeping this about Christmas, guys. We're not going to do mythological creatures and stuff like that. So I guess in order for him to be involved, he was pretty adamant that it had to follow at least some kind of a some kind of a trend towards that, I guess.
Right.
No, that's good for him.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I get that. Obviously you guys know I'm devout in my faith. There's some pretty hard issues that I don't sway from. In fact, fun note. So we're gonna be talking about Pablo's book tonight. It's In Hell, right? In Hell?
In Hell, yeah, that's the title, yeah.
In Hell. I read through his campaign and checked some stuff out. And in one spot, I was a bit concerned with his philosophical viewpoint on something, right? And I'm like,
I'm pretty surprised that it was just one spot, because for a campaign that's...
It was more than one, but it was one particular. I was like, right? And so when we talk about the campaign, I'll get to that point where I was like, this is where I was like, so I told him, I was like, look, I don't normally promote things that I, on a philosophical level, go against kind of my core, like these are these are the spokes in the wheel that do not move for me, And if it goes against one of those spokes, it just, like I had a guy that wanted to be on Nerd Bacon, and that one is those are that wouldn't work out. So I've had to, I really was reluctant to tell people no for a while, but I've kind of gotten to the point, to where I've gotten kind of good at it. And so, I just try to be professional about it and everything. So, I was like, well, I'm concerned that, that we'd have this issue or whatever. And then Paul was like, oh, no, wait. Hold on a second.
No, but I was really impressed by just how polite you were, even if you were, even like in your mind, you had every, reason to think that perhaps I was someone that thought things that would be really offensive to you. And nevertheless, you remained really polite. And I thought that was really impressive.
Well, I'm glad you think so, but I'll be honest with you. Just because you might disagree with someone, or they might be offensive. Ray, while you're not talking, I'm gonna mute you, okay? Because that bird is distracting. I've got ADHD, so I'm like, the bird. That's all I'm thinking about is the bird. Yeah. And so I'm gonna pull.
Luke's only rude to people at hotels.
Right. Right.
That's funny.
Let's not talk about that.
Sorry,
it's Christmas, guys. It's Christmas. Let's not talk about that. I mean, so even if it, it might be offensive or whatever, I try to default to respect, and so that's what I try to do. I try to default there, and lean on that first. So I keep wanting to call you Pedro, but it's Pablo.
Pablo, yeah, that's right.
Pablo. So we're gonna watch your trailer, but so
cool.
So the thing is, let's just go get into this real quick. So as I was reading this, I saw so these are characters that are in hell, and some of the language that you use, like you use the word unrepentant, and that it's. I started to get maybe a sense about the book that isn't what is there, but maybe I just read something into it that it doesn't exist. So I'm looking forward to learning more about that tonight.
Sure.
But one of my concerns was I felt like it was glorifying man. And I'm like, philosophically, we shouldn't glorify man, which is like one of my core things. And so I was like, with my faith, kind of who I am, whatever. And so then you were like, wait, I'm a person of faith as well. Are you comfortable even talking about that publicly, or is that something you just want to be like, and move over?
The thing is that there's just so much room, for within words to disagree. superficially, I mean. And like even the idea of being a person of faith, like I consider myself, to be the most religious person I know. At the same time, I understand that my idea of what it would mean to be religious perhaps wouldn't fit with other people's idea of what it would mean. But I think there's a lot. I think that Christian people nowadays are clearly among the healthiest people there is, and there's so many people that call themselves Christian that are among the people that I admire the most, both right now and in the past. And for me, Christian artists and Christianity and the ideas of Christianity are just so central to everything I think and my work. At the same time, I wouldn't want to alienate people and make them think that they're going to be reading something that is specifically to how is the word, evangelize them, or to convert them. Like it's a work of fiction, but there's a lot of ideas that I care very deeply about in them, and many of them, have are set within, of course, the Judeo-Christian, structure. Of course, it's a book that's called In Hell, but I don't believe that we disagree in regards to the idea of the importance of God and the importance of even I think we agree. It's just that the words perhaps wouldn't be exactly the same ones, the one that you would pick and the words that I would pick perhaps.
You're going to find yourself very good company here. I mean, many of the, not all, but several of us on the panel right now are men of faith, but we write comic books that are not Christian in nature, and they deal with very normal comic book themes and storytelling conventions, that wouldn't necessarily be considered Christian books. In fact, even as I was lettering this last issue, I'm a writer first. When it comes to the comic stuff, I'm a writer first, and so I'm trying to tell the story. I'm like, what voice, what language would this person use? How would they, in this moment, react and respond, especially when writing dialogue? And so when I go to write that, like sometimes I'll hesitate as I'm getting ready to type a word, and I'm like, that's a bad word. Oh well, because it's like, that because it's not a word I would normally use in my everyday language, but in that moment, like that's what the character would say. That's, I think about it, is it necessary to voicing that character and to tell and progressing the story? And if it is, then I do that. I mean, I don't do anything that's gratuitous, obviously, but it is about telling the story, and people should be able to read our works and not think that they're going to be evangelized or proselytized in any way. That's not what it's about. A lot of my stuff is allegorical, but it is, I'm a firm believer that if you wear a badge like the name Christian, then you should strive to be the best in your field that you can be, no matter what that is. If your field is plumbing, then you need to be the best dang plumber in your whatever they call it that you guys, the plumbers are, their guild. I don't know. Is it a guild? They don't have guilds, do they?
Specialty or expertise or
I don't know. Yeah, or whatever it is. They need to be at the top of their game, right? They need to be the best. At least that's what how I was raised. That's what I believe. So when it comes to like doing comic books, if I'm going to say, hey, I'm a Christian that makes a comic book, art is very subjective in writing and the visuals and everything. So I know that there's going to be people that maybe just aren't into my style, but I've got to give it my best effort in everything that I do with it. So I feel like us that take on that title should strive to be really, really good at what we do. And unfortunately, most Christian fiction is just lame and stupid and uninspired and regurgitated, and that's enough adjectives. Yeah.
I was going to say a funny similarity to what you're saying. So even in my book, there's decapitatings and people, their heads getting cut off, people getting blown away, blood, gore, and violence. But I can't recur any moment where I actually put swear words in. I don't.
See, I don't have the blood and all that stuff going on, but yeah, there'll be a curse word in there occasionally from one of the characters. 'Cause that's how he talks. But yeah, let's just take a second to appreciate the fact that Craig said the word decapitations and then explained what that was for us, like we didn't know. That's when you cut their head off. Oh. Craig, you are so delightfully Canadian. I love it, man. Just like uber polite.
So helpful.
Helpful. It's great.
It's funny.
That's when they cut their head off. You know, they cut their heads off.
Blood comes out, you know.
They're squirting.
And then they apologize.
It's really, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about it. Okay. All right, so I got it. All right, before we go any further, hold on. Hold on. So I had a really weird dream, guys. Last night. I mean, it's not normal weird. I mean, really, really weird. So, I love the Canadian sketch comedy group, Kids in the Hall.
Mm-hmm.
Love them, right? Tip of my tongue. Dave.
Oh, I'm trying to get the names. Not McCullough? No.
No, it's Dave. I was saying it like nobody's business today.
I know the songs. These are the days I know. I know. These are the days
I know. Yeah. Dave.
Foley.
Dave Foley. Thank you, Dave Foley. So, Dave Foley was supposed to be at Fanboy Expo in Indianapolis, and he couldn't make it, but he was supposed to be there. And had he been there, he was the only celebrity out of, the Bionic Man, Bionic Woman, the voice actors for the old Transformers show. All these, they had a lot of famous people there. He was the only one that I was fanboying over. I was like, man, I can't wait to meet Dave Foley. That guy's hilarious. From the friggin' that show. I love that show, right? But I didn't get to meet him. And apparently that's an unresolved issue in my mind. Okay? Because last night, I had a dream that we were staying at a friend's house. And I met Dave. And he was a delightful Canadian man. Very, very polite and friendly, right? And he came back to hang out with us in this guy's, apparently we were sleeping in this guy's garage, my friend's garage, which they would not have us do that, right?
Yeah.
So we're sleeping in their garage, and Dave comes over to hang out with us, and then winds up having to leave. We all fall asleep watching a movie, and then he has to leave. But apparently there was a bar that had opened up down the street, and so when he tried to leave, these rough guys were trying to get in. And so I kept telling my wife, bring me my gun. And he was surprised. He's like, oh, that's right. I'm in America. We've got guns. And I go, yes, we've got guns. And my wife was like, you didn't pack your gun. I'm like, why would I always pack my gun? What are you talking about? So all this stuff's going on in the dream. It feels so real at this point, And I'm like, that just doesn't make any sense. So then what happens is, he goes, and then I'm like, we lock up. But I'm like, I can't believe that my friend doesn't even have a gun here. And then I find this secret door. This is where I should have realized it was a dream, right? So I find the secret door, and he's got a tacked out Desert Eagle there, right? And I'm like, oh, I've got the Desert Eagle, So I've got that. And then I'm holding that with me, and I go lay back down and I go to sleep, right? Well, when I wake up, I'm in their frigging dining room on an air mattress, and them and their kids they're making breakfast and trying to serve us, and I was like, dude, like what happened? So I told him, I was like, hey, I found the Desert Eagle in the garage, and we were sleeping out there. He goes, dude, that's a dream. You were dreaming. That didn't happen. And he goes, I got a Desert Eagle, but it's not in the garage. I'm like, oh, you do? Cool, right? So we get talking, and then I wake up for real. And I'm like, that was the stupidest dream I've ever had. I can't normally remember my dreams, right? Mm-hmm. But this dumb dream I can remember every detail of, where I met Dave Foley. And I realized as I was thinking about it today, I really wanted to meet him, and I'm upset that I didn't get to. And so that's why I had a dream about meeting Dave Foley. So Dave, if you're watching this, if somehow this finds its way to you next time you're in Florida, I would like to meet you. Not really, I'm just kidding. I would like to meet him though. He seems like a really fun guy. But anyway.
Weren't you saying earlier you were thinking about buying a new revolver as well?
I'm thinking about buying a new revolver. And I was looking at the Desert Eagle at the shop. I was like, oh, that's nice. They're like, you don't need the Desert Eagle. You're trying to get a revolver. Like, you cannot conceal carry that thing. I'm like, I could just shove it down the front.
It's quite the impractical gun. Yeah.
It is very impractical. I was like, is that a Desert Eagle in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me? A little bit of both, my friend. A little bit of both. Anyway, I digress. Here we go. Let's talk about... Oh, my gosh. It's late and I'm tired. Let's watch your trailer, buddy. Let's check this out.
Rebel, blonde, nerd, jock, artist, feminist. 6 teenagers in love meet something that looks like a clown in hell. Your friend, charismatic Mexican cartoonist extraordinaire Gelada, brings you a new graphic novel adventure set within the now world-famous Hell saga. In Hell follows 6 youth as they awaken within an unfamiliar, surreal landscape. Emerging from the very elements as grotesque blobs of flesh, they quickly conform to the shapes of 6 archetypes you, dearest reader, knows only too well. Johnny, the rebel without a cause. Barbie, the blonde, buxom, cheerleading bombshell. Dexter, the nerd genius. Arthur, the jock team captain. Willow, the awkward artist loner. And Christine, a child of our age if there ever was one, the indignant revolutionary feminist. These 6 teens, their memories jumbled and hazy, are then informed by a booming, ominous voice in the sky. They are dead and condemned to an eternity in hell. Thus begins a grand adventure in which our heroes will discover terrifying wonders and wonderful terrors. Fantastic powers will awaken in them. They will remember and develop deep bonds of friendship and love. In hell, they will blossom into lords. A story to showcase the majesty of the human, set in a maddening Lovecraftian dreamscape, a space at the end of all time. With your help, I will paint a picture of men and women as monarchs, beyond unrepentant, proud. Think Beetlejuice meets The Breakfast Club and Made in Abyss. Add a dash of Power Rangers thrown in for good measure. Rated hard R. I am asking for the minimal funds that will allow me to continue this journey. Please take a moment to examine the different tiers and rewards explained below. As part of this campaign, I share with you also 2 of my past works, Secret Reunion in Carfax Lodge and Not Freak Squeal, 2 books that I like to describe as the weirdest you will ever see Dracula be. These, while unnecessary to understanding and enjoying in hell, represent other artistic triumphs of mine, which will greatly enhance your understanding of this new work and bring you, friend, great pleasure. A brief video introducing them is available for you to watch below. Let Johnny and the gang be set loose in their endless playground. help me bring to you an adventure such as you have never before experienced in hell.
All right, so this is pretty cool looking, but here's the deal. You gotta be kind of weird, man.
I totally dig the Salvador.
You gotta be kind of weird, yeah.
I see the Salvador Dali influence totally in that. I totally dig that. That's really cool.
So here's the deal.
I love Dali. Salvador Dali is a hero of mine, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
So here's what I've been doing. I've been e-fapping people's trailers. Okay. I think this one. I think this one is. I think it requires that we e-fap this. So now that we've watched it, I'm gonna stop at all of the questions and make you answer them. Okay.
Let's
go
fun.
and start this one again here.
Rebel, blonde, nerd, jock, artist, feminist. 6.
First off, that's a perfect depiction of a feminist.
Is it? Yeah.
I was like, yeah. I'm like, that's kind of androgynous. I'm not sure. I assume it's a woman.
It's a woman, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, in the biological sense, it's a. In the complete sense, it's she's a woman, yeah.
Yeah, and then so I was like, well, yeah, I think I ran into her at the. I think I ran into her at the Walmart the other day.
I was just say at the gas station for me.
At the gas, yeah. I think so. First off, I want to say the archetypes are well done. Okay, I like those.
Thanks.
They're very tropey.
It really is the Breakfast Club +1, right? Because there was no feminist. There was
no feminist.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the idea, yeah. The Breakfast Club +1, and
it's like if they made the Breakfast Club now.
They would have to include someone like that today, yeah.
And there'd be a black person, but the black person would be gay. Have you noticed that? They've been making all the black people gay in all these shows. It's weird. It's
a big conspiracy theory that's 100% probably right. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched. I heard it was a African American guy doing a review on something, and he said that he goes, why they gotta make us all gay?
Well, is it one of the stereotypes like that black people are totally homophobic?
No. What this guy says is that it goes back to cultural appropriation. That nobody wants to be black, but they want to be like the black people, right? They emulate their clothing, their music, their culture, all that kind of stuff. So he believes that in order to push another agenda for inclusion, that they are making black characters gay, or trans, or all those kind of things, as a way to make it more palatable to a culture that already wants to emulate black culture. That's what he said.
I could kind of see that. I at the same time, there is a big stereotype of black people being homophobic, so I almost feel like they're trying to rewire that.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I think when anyone comes up with a weird conspiracy theory like that, there's always some credence to it. You know, I think there's always something a little. You know, there's a little bit of value in all of their opinions, I think. You just got to try to find out what's right, but it makes sense. It made sense, so enough for me to repeat it for you guys. All right, let's continue.
Teenagers in love.
All right, in love. Is this like a? I know Menage a Trois is 3. Was it?
Menage a well,
what's a
you've
Menage
seen
a Trois times 2.
Have you? Well, you guys have all seen the Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah.
Of course.
I think you can call that a love story, where it's a group that is in love. Perhaps it's not a giant orgy, but it is a love story between the characters, and I think of them like that. In that sense, of course, I'm not really saying that they are not going to,
have an orgy.
have an orgy that may very well happen, but yeah, okay.
He's like, I will not confirm nor deny the orgy.
Exactly.
Just saying that it is a love story, not necessarily in the romantic sense, but a love story in the interpersonal sense. Is that what I'm getting?
Yeah, there you go. Like a very deep friendship, let's say.
Okay, all right, there we go.
It's something that looks like a clown in hell. Your friend, charismatic Mexican cartoonist extraordinaire Gelada, brings you a new graphic novel adventure set within the now world.
What are all these letters over here? What is this?
Well, I was really happy that the influence of Salvador Dali was recognized.
Nerd,
blonde, artist, feminist.
Yeah, and then like this is interesting. I like the visuals here. It's something that looks like a clown. So you've already told me that it's not really a clown.
It's a demon. I mean, he even has a sort of a horn piercing a halo, as you can see. Like
I see that. Here's what I think is great. Okay, this is something that I liked right away. The cartoon blood on the This looks very much like old Disney animation, like early stuff, black and white, shorts.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. That's the idea. The Fleischer cartoons, Popeye and things like that. Felix the cat, I really like that. Yeah.
I just caught that he's flipping the bird.
He is. Yeah.
I just caught that. Yeah.
He's also doing the more ancient version of flipping the bird.
Yeah. The hook and horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the other one.
Oh,
the top one, it's called. Not sure how it's called in English.
Where you stick your thumb through your index fingers.
Yeah, it's meant to represent, the
same thing.
Sex, yeah.
The get bent. So I accidentally told someone in traffic to get bent today. I didn't know what it meant, and my daughter was like, "What's that mean?" So my daughter went to the Urban Dictionary, and told me what it meant, and I was like, "Oh, I should probably not say that again."
World-famous Hell saga. In Hell follows 6 youth as they awaken within an unfamiliar, surreal landscape, emerging from the very elements as grotesque.
So I see pie up here.
Pie, yeah. Glad you. I'm really reassured that you recognize that. There's a lot of. I don't mean to be rude, but there's a lot of jokes about people interviewing Americans, having them locate their own country on the map and things like that. I don't want to offend anyone, of course.
You're not going to offend me. Well, I don't really have feelings to hurt anymore.
No, but yeah, it's pie.
No, I've turned on the news. I know what we are. Come on, guys,
stereotype.
Right?
No, it's not even a stereotype. It's a joke.
We, my fellow Americans, we know what we are, don't we? We got a lot of idiots out there.
I feel anger. I feel anger in the silence, and now I'm worried.
No.
Don't worry.
There is a large percentage of the population that just lives to be told what to do, though. That's for sure.
Definitely. Yeah. I know that was that's my favorite food.
Blobs of flesh, they quickly conform to the shapes of 6 archetypes you, dearest reader, knows only.
All right, so they don't start out as the teens.
No, they don't. They something that I don't want to go on too long with this, but something that I really cared about the comic book is to have it be to sort of fulfill the idea of sequential art, where everything is meant to be a sequence. So you get the characters from their inception, and the idea is that all the characters sort of build their own bodies, a little bit similar to how it happens in Hellraiser. Have you guys seen Hellraiser?
Yeah.
The way that the character materializes his body. So the nerd is obsessed with pie, with squaring the circle and thinking, and so he's processing that, and he's thinking about it, and he's obsessing about it, and that's sort of like the core of his being, of his soul. That's the idea.
So that's why they become those archetypes because it's whatever their obsession is.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Very good. Very good. Interesting.
We do well. Johnny, the rebel without a cause. Barbie, the blonde.
Killer abs, by the way. Again, are you the artist as well?
I am. Yeah, I'm doing everything. Yeah.
I do enjoy your art style. It's there's this thing about like this where things are disturbing in a good way. And
I like that. Yeah.
The concept of your work, of the story that you're doing, and the juxtaposition of the artwork with it, it causes an uneasiness mentally in a good way. Like it prepares you for this is just going to be like uncomfortable. Like it's I don't know, but in a good way, like not necessarily negative.
Because of a little bit, because it looks a tad childish, perhaps.
Yeah.
Buxom cheerleading bombshell. Dexter, the nerd genius. Arthur, the jock team captain. Willow, the awkward artist loner. And Christine, a child of our age if there ever was one, the indignant revolutionary feminist. These six...
I also like how you use marks.
It sort of I won't say that it angers me, but it frustrates me that people don't understand that many of these current movements are just Marxism.
It's just Marxist theology, yeah.
Yeah, it's just Marxism with another name,
Yeah, it's like critical theory is it's Marxist. It's Marxist theology just extracted, and the laws of intersectionality was extrapolated from that, and and now you've got everyone adopting critical race theory, which is just another adaptation of more Marxist theology.
Another ideology of resentment.
Yeah. What it does is it puts blame on an oppressor and removes all blame, or not necessarily even blame, but all
responsibility.
There's the word. Thank you. Responsibility for consequence goes to someone else and not your own actions. It's that whole idea of, I believe in equality, but they want equity. So equality is equal opportunity, equity is equal outcome, right? That's Marxist theology, that's going to be an equal outcome for everybody. Now, sometimes that's fine, three people trying to look over a fence. That analogy's fine, right? But it does that's not fine when it comes to working and feeding your family, because, well, I digress.
Teens, their memories jumbled and hazy, are then informed by a booming, ominous voice in the sky. They are dead and condemned to an eternity in hell. Thus begins a grand adventure in which our heroes will discover terrifying one.
Okay. This is a picture of them dying, like a bunch.
I can't say that no, they are not actually dying in the picture.
But they're being tortured, right?
Not really either. It's
they don't look like they're having a good time.
No. Have you watched Excalibur, the film?
Yes.
Maybe you don't remember, but there's a scene where I believe it's King Arthur that plants Excalibur on the ground next to Lancelot and Guinevere,
Yeah.
And then there's this vision of Merlin being impaled by Excalibur, like magically.
Yeah.
And I was really, really stunned when I watched that film for the first time this year, because I realized for some reason in my story, I ended up doing the same concept without ever watching Excalibur and without ever reading directly, Arthurian myth. So that's a bit of a spooky anecdote, perhaps, of how
cool.
many mythical tropes find our way into, one's head without you specifically consuming them. So, but I can say that it's not a book where you're gonna just watch characters be tortured. Like it's an adventure.
Okay.
I also feel a bit of Paradise Lost, like sort of happening in this too.
I love Paradise Lost. It's my favorite work of art of all time. I memorize it. I really, really love Paradise Lost. Yeah.
I like the colorful background for this being hell. It's just again, it's that uneasy. Like
I'm intrigued. I mean, this is really cool stuff.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So
wonders and wonderful terrors. Fantastic powers will awaken in them. They will remember and develop deep bonds of friendship and love. In hell, they will blossom into lords. A story to showcase the majesty of the human.
Okay, so here's where I started having a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's a big devil like that, and the majesty of the human. I get.
Yeah, and they become lords and all this kind of stuff, right? Because I literally at the same time was dealing with another potential guest that had a very dark persona, and that it came from what I'm discovering was a very dark place. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, eek. It's like, not more. Anyway, so
do you want me to clarify, perhaps?
Yeah, as a person that has faith, how do you handle this subject with
Well, John Milton, the poet behind Paradise Lost. Mm-hmm. The clear main character of the poem is there's no doubt that it's Satan. Mm-hmm. Paradise Lost completely orbits Satan, and it orbits Satan in a really sort of empathetic way. Like you read Paradise Lost and you can easily get the impression that wow, Milton really, really liked Satan, and there's a lot to be said about that connection. But as far as the idea of the majesty of the human, I think that there is no way. Like, how could the principal creation of God not be majestic?
Okay.
Like what? Of course, we should aim to be. If we have the fire of God put within us, we should aim to make that fire burn in a way that is majestic, and we should aim to be to connect with that sort of reality. There's so much skepticism nowadays about important stuff. People often say I like that this person instead of saying, oh, I love this person. And people are very hesitant to develop bonds, like serious bonds of affection, and there's no more nationalism, which I think is not a good sign. So yes, I am in the business of trying to sell a vision of man and woman that is majestic and that is proud, but not pride based, in the like a pride that is based on our connection to the roots of the world, to God and the principles that manifest within us, the cosmos and the universe and nature and all of that. And from reading and admiring a lot of Christian authors, I believe that my vision is not incompatible with people that take their Christian faith seriously. But that, of course, is something that each person will have to decide. But I don't believe that what I'm trying to peddle here will be anti-Christian or specifically incompatible with Christian teachings. That's
I will say this: over the course of the last year and a half, I've learned that the capabilities of the human spirit, the tenacity, the resilience of the way we're made, it's a lot greater than what we even understand.
It's endless.
We are stronger. We can do more if you put your mind to it. You can accomplish more than what powers that be may want you to realize that you can accomplish. That if you're stuck in a wheelchair, you can get out of the wheelchair.
Yeah.
In most cases.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't. Sometimes you can't. But you can find a way to, if not physically get out of the wheelchair, not be held back by it.
And the amazing thing about, human evolution throughout history is living in the present and looking at what's going on now may not be so impressive not as so much, but looking backwards at how far humanity has come in just a matter of 6,000 years is absolutely remarkable. To go from living in the woods, basically as animals ourselves.
Well, and look at the story of the Tower of Babel, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I try to tell people, and this is more of my conspiracy theory stuff. You guys might enjoy this. So the Tower of Babel, man came together and built a tower because they were going to go to heaven, right? And they were circumventing God to get there. And God spoke amongst himself. The Trinity spoke to them, amongst themselves, and they said, if man puts their mind to it, they can accomplish anything. We need to put a stop to this. They're gonna go further. They're gonna get themselves into trouble doing this. Okay, they're gonna unlock some stuff they don't need to unlock. And so they, at that point, that's when God confounded their speech, and that's where people believe, different nationalities, different languages and stuff came from. That this is what happened at the Tower of Babel. Well, if these were ancient people building a clay building, I don't think that was necessary, because we have towers taller than that now, right? Mm-hmm. I believe that technology had to be fairly advanced, and I believe that technology was advanced because of what happens in the Book of Enoch, where these angels, these sons of God, and the daughters of men, and these Nephilim creatures are being created. There were technologies and mysteries and different kinds of science that borderline to magic that were being presented to mankind during that period of time that obviously posed a great threat to humanity. And so I think that people's always like, well, how did they build the pyramids with such rudimentary and crude technology? Maybe it wasn't that crude. Maybe we're misunderstanding some of what was that, what that was about. Maybe it wasn't so crude. Maybe it was, maybe there was more going on back then than what we realized. It's just been lost to us.
And to me, a very key point of the way you phrase that is that a lot of people maybe talk about those stories as God being sort of jealous, and trying to impose an external limit. And the way I understand it is more that if you try to run before you can walk, you're gonna fall and, break your nose.
Yeah.
So the way I understand, and of course it's perfectly okay to disagree about this, but the way I understand the actions of God is just like the laws itself of nature, like the rules that govern existence itself. So it's not something that enters into friction with our nature or with our ambitions, but that we are part of that system of rules and things. So when we perhaps try to do something that we're not prepared to, we're inevitably going to fail and hurt each other, hurt ourselves by doing it, something like that.
Well, when your wings are made of wax, you shouldn't fly too high to the sun.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And I think that's what was happening.
Sure.
And I mean, what do I know? I just went to seminary. That's all. Let's continue.
Set in a maddening Lovecraftian dreamscape, a space at the end of all time. With your help, I will paint a picture of men and women as monarchs, beyond unrepentant, proud. Think Beetlejuice meets The Breakfast Club and Made in Abyss. Add a dash of Power Rangers thrown in for good measure. Rated hard R. Yes, I am asking for the minimal funds that will allow me.
Okay, so hard R. When we get to the hard R, is it hard R for violence?
Everything pretty much, yeah.
Sexual content?
It's not a pornographic book by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm not going to shy away from sexual content if I feel that it's important to the story. Yeah.
My question is, if I buy this and my 13-year-old picks it up,
that 13-year-old, it depends of what sort of that you. I don't think that my book would hurt a 13-year-old, psychologically, especially because it's a comic book. So it's not one thing that I really care about is not to do things that sort of hurt the spirit, like things that are just nasty, that are just unpleasant, disgusting, depressing, shaming, that sort of thing. But there is just I want to do something that's a horror fantasy, that's intense, that's sexy, that's violent, that's everything. So I don't know. It would be your call, I think.
Well, normally if it's a hard R, I wouldn't let him get it. Yeah. I wouldn't let him. But I'm trying to get a sense of what I'm gonna see. If I would buy this book, what am I gonna see? Am I gonna see nudity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe not tons of it, but yeah,
am I
some
see
nudity.
Someone's head cut off?
Decapitation, you mean?
Decapitations?
Yeah.
With blood too, right?
With blood.
That's when someone cuts someone's head off. Yeah, like you said.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah. Oh wait, that's the feminist with her shirt off.
That is the feminist with her shirt off. Yeah. She's not the antagonist in the story, and they all, change a lot. Very much like it happens in The Breakfast Club, where they're all against each other at the start, but little by little they sort of explain their positions, and you get the sense that there's some validity to the position, the perspective that each one brings to the group. That's St. Peter's Cross. That's not a satanic cross.
That's what I was going to bring up. You don't know how many times people see that and they're like, oh, that's a satanic cross. Like, no, it's that St. Peter's Cross.
That character actually is a very devout Christian, the jock.
Oh. See, because here's the thing. Here's what people don't, if you don't know, for those on the panel, may not be familiar with the story. When Peter was being crucified, he refused to be crucified in the same manner that Christ was and requested to be hung upside down. So that's St. Peter's Cross. That's what an upside down cross is. The art is really interesting. I like it. It's the colors work really well with your art. Wait, are there lettered pages up here? Yeah.
I sent you also a link with some of the image in higher res. If you feel that it's pertinent, we can stay in the Kickstarter if you prefer, of course.
Yeah, it will be. We don't normally go over perks because the people that watch the show are reasonably intelligent and have gone to campaigns before and understand how perks work. So they don't, Is there anything in the perks that, like, you definitely like, hey, this is...
Well, you get physical books only for the last one, because you get the printed versions of my previous works There's 2 books. One of them is almost 300 pages long. I'm really proud of the physical books. They're offset coloring, hardbound. They're really beautiful objects, I believe. For the rest, it's just high quality PDFs that have RGB color, so they pop really better than the printed things. And also, you get a sort of subscription. So that a big thing for me is to not only to provide a comic book that is already complete by the end of December, but also you get weekly content, so you can follow how I develop the second chapter and so on and so forth. The idea is to give you something to expect that is cool every week, and not to spoil the story, but to provide, something that you can dream around, perhaps. And yeah, that's the.
Okay. So the only physical is the $52 one.
The complete treasure. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's for the moment it only ships to USA.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where's it shipping from?
Where is it shipping from? It's shipping from I forget. It's around here. From the north, I believe.
Well, I didn't know if you had someone in the U.S. handling your fulfillment.
No, I have a warehouse actually that I have hired. Let's say.
And so they ship to the U.S. then.
That's right.
Okay. Very good.
I like it.
So you have a little ways left to go. You're $1,303. You need to make up about $253 left to go. 38 backers, 20 days to go. I think you're going to get there, man. I really do. I think you're going to get there. I'm going to pop your link one more time into the chat so that people can do that. Guys, check that out. It's been really nice kind of to hear you speak. You're very articulate. You're intelligent, and
Thank you.
You can tell that you care about crafting a story.
I really do, yeah. And I've been actually practicing. I really appreciate the compliment, because I've been I used to read and write in English for a long time, but I wasn't really used to speaking. So I've been practicing a lot to make videos and stuff like that. It's a little bit of a struggle still, but yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it's a hell of a lot better than my Spanish.
There you go. Yeah.
Muy bien. Gracias.
Gracias. Sí.
Chile con queso.
You have good pronunciation. Yeah, that's already a big thing.
So here's the deal. I worked in a place called Logansport, Indiana, as a parts store manager. And in Logansport, they actually had signs, billboards down on the border saying, "Come to beautiful Logansport and work." They were all in Spanish because we had Tyson's meat packing plant, and then we had another hog packing plant over in that area as well. And so people would move there, and so it was 51% of the population was Hispanic.
Yeah.
Documented.
Well, that's
documented. Nice. It was much more than 51% if you included the not
undocumented. Yeah, of course.
Yes. So I had to learn I can sell car parts usually in Spanish, like frenos, discos. Ignition, yeah, all that kind of stuff.
Great.
So I learned a lot of Spanish, but it's all revolving around car parts, so it doesn't do any good. And one day we had this guy named Armando that was working for me. Great kid, and I was just kind of joking because a lot of hick white people in the middle of Indiana, they think that putting L and then O on the end of a word, so it's like so I said, I'm going to go to the El Banco, and he goes, it's pronounced Banco. And I thought he was joking, right?
Yeah, sure.
And he goes, no, it's El Banco. And I'm like, it's really?
Yeah,
I really thought he was messing with me. And then I went and I was like, there it is. Because every sign we had to have in English and Spanish there. Mm-hmm. And so even on our billboard outside, we would put, on our letterboard, we would put English on one side, Spanish on the other. So that we could communicate to the other half the population there. So yeah. So I learned how to pronounce from them. But there was this one guy that came in, and he learned a couple of American phrases, and it was hilarious. And his favorite one was, "How do you like them apples?" But now he always came in like he was like a car salesman. Hey, how do you like them apples, huh? How do you like them apples? Ha, ha. And like this was the whole thing. And he'd say something else, and he'd be like, how do you like them apples, eh? Ah. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like that was the whole guy's shtick. That was what he.
You know, actually, I when I was a kid, I used to say, for example, the "Hasta la vista, baby," all the time. The Terminator 2.
Terminator.
And then later, me and my brother, we used to say, "Vaya con Dios."
Vaya con Dios.
But we used to normally you would say "Vaya con Dios."
Yeah.
But the way we would say it with an American accent, we had heard it on a movie, and it was just so funny. Vaya con Dios.
Like, hello, I would like a hamburger. My favorite team is the Mets.
Yeah. So it's funny for me too, the El Banco and things like that. Yeah.
El Banco.
El Banco.
Yeah, and the El Camino. When I found out that just meant the road, I was like, I'm very disappointed.
Sure. And everyone here loves, for example, Speedy Gonzalez, you know?
Oh, yeah, right.
Everyone loves Speedy Gonzalez. Everyone loves that kind of stuff. And it's just hilarious for everyone.
It's only the woke white people that think Speedy Gonzalez is offensive.
No, it's like,
that's horrible.
Speedy's
great.
It's amazing. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah. Like, I know that guy. He would come in
every hero.
Thursday.
He wins. I mean, he always wins pretty much. He's like the roadrunner. Yeah.
Like he is. Yeah, he always wins.
And he gets the goal normally. Also.
Yeah, when they tried to cancel him, I was like, what? Don't cancel Speedy.
He's all business too. He's got no time to play around. Shoots his guns, races in, does what he's got to do.
That's right.
He's awesome, man.
He's great.
Speedy was my other favorite was Taz. Between Speedy and Taz, those are my two favorites. You know, because Taz, you know, kind of. I just love Taz. I thought he was great. And,
next thing you know, you'll have people from I don't know New Zealand and Australia complaining that he's an Australian stereotype, you know, because they slobber and turn normally.
Well, have you met the Aussies? I'm joking. They're decent people.
They do slobber and turn very fast.
Yeah, they're decent people, even though their ancestors come from criminals. Right, Ray? Ray's Australian.
I'm undercover Australian, but
yeah, sunny. I was wondering where you were from because it was, sunny in your backyard. I said,
it's beautiful and birds out and everything. Yeah, it's not that way here. It's dark right now. But yeah, but this is a fairly international panel, isn't it? We've got 3 different countries represented here.
Mm-hmm.
That's impressive.
4
times. Good times. 4?
Yeah, you gotta count your own too.
That's what I did.
No,
I didn't.
Me, the Canadian.
I didn't count my own. I counted yours. Trust me, we're just trying to downplay the whole American shtick that's going on right now. It's pretty embarrassing. I mean, come on, it's embarrassing.
Anyway. No, not really. I mean, the thing about America, and I know from inside America you don't see it, but the rest of us do. And honestly, freedom and democracy is what America created, and very much the Western world evolved from the American Revolution. And there's no denying that.
Yeah,
there's no denying that.
History started in 1776. I'm telling you.
Yes. So I mean,
I'm proud. I'm proud of being American. Trust me. I'm just embarrassed.
I don't know
our president.
how could you not be proud to be from the United States? I mean, just from a point of view of contributions, artistic, technological, and yes, political contributions. It's just
people are going nuts here right now. It's the it's the uber crazy left and the uber crazy right, and they
embarrass us.
World,
yeah,
the rest of the world, we step off on what happens in the United States, and I know you don't want to be the world's caretakers, but it just is what it is. Everyone watches whatever's going to happen in the States is going to have an effect on the rest of us.
Because, well, that's what happens when you're the good guy, right? And we're supposed to be the good guy. We're supposed to be, which it really upsets me when we have politicians make policies that are contrary to being the good guy. We have to do a better job at the ballot box, I think.
Selling out to our enemies overseas for cash. That's got to stop.
Yeah, we have to do better at the ballot box, I believe. But I digress. Before we head out of here, Craig, you've got like
4 hours left.
4 hours left on this thing. You are fun day.
I'm so grateful too. Yeah.
Which is so awesome, man.
It did great. Thank you so much, everyone. I
this
feel
is
proud
really good for first book, man.
Yeah, I came out of nowhere. 2 months. Nobody knows
60
who I am.
backers, man. That's impressive for first book.
Yeah.
That's
quite
more
jealous.
backers than I'm getting on my
Congratulations.
last book.
Oh, thank you so much.
My last book, I'm not getting very. My current book, I'm not getting very many on. I screwed up so much on everything with that one.
Hey, we all make mistakes.
I campaign at all.
I made all kinds of mistakes. I would change. I could go back, but hey,
here's the thing. Here's the difference between you and me, man.
Yeah.
This is your first book. It's like my 18th. I should have known better.
Mm-hmm.
I just did it anyway. I was just like, I'm gonna do it anyway. I know it wasn't gonna work out well. I knew it wasn't, but I did it anyway. But here we are. Anyway, you've got 4 hours left on this thing, so let's watch your trailer real quick and try to encourage people to go give this thing a look. We talked about this a couple weeks ago and talked about it a lot during the Luke Draws episode, so we won't get into that too much, but just good old-fashioned sci-fi.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. Yeah, it looks really solid. Really amazing.
Art is nice in this thing. You know what I can't wait to read about?
What's that?
This guy. Where is he at? Where's this thing? Let me get to him. Well, these guys, this interests me a lot. And the brain stem back there, that's interesting.
Brain in a jar, that's
pretty cool looking.
Cool trope, yeah.
Yeah, where is that guy I'm looking for? He was in the trailer.
Well, it's the same. Dexter goes through an evolution, so he's on the cover there. He starts off as a bounty hunter, but eventually he becomes that police officer guy that you're seeing. Like he gets his
this guy, the orangutan back there. I like that guy.
Yeah. And we talked about parallel ideas. Pedro was mentioned with the swords. Very much. I got my first drawing of Giles the exact same time I found out about AR orangutan, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" It's just complete fluke, honestly. It's an orangutan. He's a cool creature. Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, this is very cool. This looks neat. And you got a lot of tiers though. And again, we're not going to go over the tiers because.
And I'm taking all the art ones down when this ends. Like not right the minute it ends, but basically it's expensive to send those big packages. And I'll be honest, I kind of want to keep those a little bit for myself. But if people didn't pick them up, it's fine. I'm just going to take them down. It'll make my life
lost,
easier.
Man.
Yeah.
That's how I'm in with the original art on my tier, on my campaign. I've got less than a week left to go on mine. I'm not even letting it go end to man. I'm turning that off. We're not doing any of that nonsense on this one. Well, look at that. Gotta block the porn bot.
Yeah, I saw that.
Welcome to the chat, porn bot.
But I'm just lucky with my creative team. I mean, as you know, I came up with the concept, did the story, wrote the script, overall in charge of everything. But it's my artist team that made this happen. So.
Yeah,
well, you should be proud of your accomplishment, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Great going, the first book.
Heck yeah.
Looks very cool, dude. Looks very cool.
Yep. I'm excited to bring it into the world. Yeah.
So you are going in demand, right?
Yes, I did click in demand, and Indiegogo hasn't shadow banned or nothing, so there shouldn't be anything to stop that. But
the
as you know,
banning seemed to be stopped. No, I don't see too many of them.
What happened was Graham Nolan got a hold of somebody at Indiegogo and had a conversation, and things changed very fast.
Yeah, well, I mean, you don't ignore a guy like Graham Nolan.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care if you like CG or not. I mean, it's Graham Nolan, you know.
Wait, what did I miss? Did the shadow bans stop?
Yeah, he got a hold of them, and all of a sudden campaigns started appearing that had disappeared, and people who hadn't had their in demand got their in demand back, and we haven't had any new shadow bans since. So
not that I've seen. I mean, yeah. I mean,
interesting.
I mean, it could be happening. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. But I mean, it looks like we've gotten ourselves to a nice spot right now. But yeah, we are definitely going to be launching Fund My Comics soon. So
yes,
check that out. That's going to be. We're very excited about that. I'm chomping at the bit. Hopefully this week we'll have some concrete things to show people. We've seen the UI design, the user interface design already. It's in dark mode, but we wanna go with a little softer color palette. I think it's pretty comic and video game centric. It's very loud, and I kind of want to tone that down just a little bit. I do like the idea of it being in dark mode. I think, you know, as a graphic designer, a lot of things are going in dark mode next year. That's where a lot of designs are going. In fact, I just made my site go dark mode. So, you know, we're doing that. But yeah, we're really excited about it. So hopefully we're looking to announce the list of features that will be available in the beta version of that site when it launches. I think Dave says it's still happening around Christmas time, right, Ray?
Yeah, hopefully before. But I've done a bit of a push on my end as well to get that feature list, get a second round of designs for us so we can have a look at it. Just so that when we do start talking about it, we've got something to represent, not just in the air. So, but I've been chasing on their behalf as well, just to get the team. Come on.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty exciting. Can't wait for that to come out. Yeah. So that's happening. Big year next year for a lot of the things that we're producing. A lot of books coming out from Arrow Comics. A lot of books coming out from a lot of you guys on the panel.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Tank. Right?
Maybe.
Anthony.
Yeah. Working on it.
Todd's got something coming.
Sure, coming early next year.
Forthcoming, yeah. That's exciting stuff. You have a launch date, right? February.
No, I don't have a launch date yet. I'm just feeling things out, and
that's Hojo with the launch date.
Getting my email list first of next year, and then
nice.
Go from there.
So yeah, we got a lot going on.
It's getting better and better.
Yeah,
it's really looking great.
I will be shipping issue 9 in like 2 weeks. So we're over in less than a week, and as soon as the money shows up for paying for the shipping, I'll send it out. I'm ordering metal tomorrow. So I'll have the metal in, and the patches are on their way already. So
I grabbed the completed, whatever the completed one is, so I'm looking forward to that.
The digital?
No, not digital. I'm always physical, but
some people
with
really
exception of
took advantage
Pablo,
of that
I don't have a
digital.
choice. But
Yeah, some people took advantage of the digital, which is nice. I mean, that's a good deal for everything, you know.
Yeah.
And some people's like, why do you do that? That's so cheap. You're losing money. Well, maybe not. Because if they like it, they might go physical. But it literally cost me very little to, you know, to send out a digital copy of something. And yeah, I paid money to make the book, and that money should still be figured into it. Yeah, I know, shut up. I get it. But look, if I'm selling a physical book, I'm not making a lot on a physical book because printing is outrageous and shipping costs so much these days. On a digital, I can give you my entire digital library for $30 and make money. You know, it's like, yeah, it's not hurting me. And to be quite honest with you, and this is where we all want to get, I know, but my first 8 issues are completely paid for. Like, everything's been paid for. I've made my money back on them and then some. I didn't make my money back on book 9 yet, but I will by the time it's all said and done. So, yeah, this campaign has been not so good.
Yeah.
But, you know, launched at a bad time, launched right after the Rift Riders campaign. Had a botched launch night. You guys were there for that. That was bad. You know, so it's like all the momentum, everything, just trying to vie for people's attention right now during an election season. All of this drama with Twitter, all the drama with the other crowdfunding campaign platforms. I mean, it's just like, you know,
inflation.
I think here's what a lot of creators don't understand is that you're not just competing for people's money, for their dollars. You're competing for their attention. And it can be very difficult to try to get people's attention during this time, during any time. But, you know, I just had their attention for Rift Riders, and they rewarded me for it, you know. And then I'm like, hey, here's another one. And so for some of those people, they were brand new backers, you know, to come with them right away. They're probably not going to jump on. But and times are, you know, I think my hardcore readers know that they're going to be able to get the book, you know, without problem from the website in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So as soon as the other ones ship, I just make it live on my website. Oh, something else that's really cool. Forgot to mention this. ArrowComics.store is coming.
Ooh.
Yeah,
wow.
So we're finally going to have a storefront. I'm not sure. The domain is directed, but it takes a minute for... it can take up to 3 days for a domain to connect. And yeah, it's not connected yet. So here, I will show you guys this. Arrow store, there we go. Here, I've got the
nice to see you moving to that next level. Like, and you're at that stage where you're just moving on, creating your own platforms, your own, like, that's mind blowing.
Yeah. So what we did is I talked with Randy. I said, man, we need to have a storefront. And one of the older founders of... Why is this acting like a... Why is it being silly? There we go. So one of the founders... Why is it... Oh, because I'm logged in.
Why?
You guys will get to see my editing.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
We'll go big. Make full size. So yeah, so we're you know, just doing some simple stuff with it. Nothing too complicated. But I was so the guy that has this site currently isn't quite ready to relinquish the arrowcomics.com and is very busy, doesn't really have time to edit. But we need to be able to have a storefront up, you know, to get everybody's material, everybody's content up and be able to do that. And so it just built a simple site where it'll be able to feature new products. And then you can go to a store. Right now, I've only got one book up because I have to populate the whole site. So I've only got just the one book available. But we've got a blog up there, and then you can check out creators, the contact. And then, but I would encourage you that once we make this thing live, if you go to check out the history. So there's a history of Arrow Comics 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Kind of the 3 different iterations, and obviously we're in a new era of that. But you can go through and actually see and read about all that's happened with this company. A lot of history there, a lot of comics history, and it's very interesting. As I was populating this site with it, it was fun to go through. But that's what we got going here. I know we've got the web guy in the room, Ray. So don't roast me too bad. But this is what I was able to do in an afternoon.
See, he's trying to hold the vomit back.
Yeah,
calm down. Just calm down, Ray.
No.
I think it looks beautiful.
Yeah.
I like
it. It's simple. It's just a store.
Yeah.
It's a store with a couple of other little features to it that that are necessary. But buy comics. And so we'll have all the comics available up in this section. I'm still gonna play with how that looks a little bit. I'm not sure how I want it to look in the end. So we'll figure it out. But that's what we got going. So big year of 2023 is going to be a massive year for everybody, man. I think it's going to be awesome. Good year for comics.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think. So we're going to go around and everybody, real quick, just tell them where they can find you or anything that you need them to know. And we'll start with Pablo. Pablo, thanks for being our guest tonight and coming and talking about your project and showing off what it is you're working on. Been nice getting to know you, man.
No, my pleasure. My pleasure. Really, I've really enjoyed my time here. I actually was really looking forward to this conversation because of our little back and forth in Twitter. Mm-hmm. Your initial hesitancy to have me on. So I thought it would be really interesting to talk with people that have that on their background, faith as something that's a serious part of their life, and comic books, of course, and everything. So yeah, thank you. I have my campaign in Hell in Kickstarter. So that's the link. I'm sure you've posted it, but it's just projects Helada with AA, and then in Hell. And I also have a site that's helada.com, like my name, just with a .com at the end. And I have other comics there as well. They are part of the campaign, but you can buy them also. If you're not in United States, you can buy physical versions of them in there as well.
Very nice. Let's
Thank you.
Tank.
Yes.
You're up next.
I do things with stuff. Amazing, fun things. Actually, you gotta come check us out, man. Todd, Bunny, and I were all going to be having some fun. I think Thursday, if I'm correct.
Thursday, yep.
Yep, that's right. We got Artie Murphy, and we'll reveal the Red Baron trading card as well. If you let me see if I still have that pulled up. Because I'm derpy. I'm really derpy. There we go. There's the patent trading card. Okay, let me go back over to the thing of the POW. There we go. So yeah, our first guy was Patton, and second guy is the Red Baron, and I'm working on that one. And then we've got Audie Murphy. So far, historical figures are beating out the fictional ones. Of course, it wasn't really much of a competition because these guys are just like straight up badasses.
Let's be honest. I think a lot of times historical figures are way cooler than fictional ones because there were real stories of heroics.
Yeah. real stories of like heroics and villainy, and just amazing awesomeness. And of course, I've got my own book coming out here shortly this next month. Finally dropping it. That's 0 to 12. First chapter of the prologue to Retribution. First number 1 of a 10-issue miniseries. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll be dropping one of those every month.
Awesome. That's exciting. Ray, talk to us, brother.
What do I know? I'm just a web guy.
Just a web guy.
Yeah. Follow me on Twitter, Ray_Haylock. Need any help with anything related?
If someone wants to hire you, to help build their store, where do they need to go to get you?
Twitter. Catch me on Twitter. All my stuff's on there. I do have like Facebook and that sort of stuff. But
wait a second. Do you have a website?
Yeah, uniquewebmarketers.com. That's.
I just had to ask. I mean, it's like, yeah, where do they go to find you? Twitter. What about your website?
You go to Twitter. You can message me there. It comes up.
It's easier to get you on Twitter.
Stuff. It's just easier.
Yeah, just look for Ray Haylock, Tug's Web Guy. Right?
Yeah. If you have any issues with Squarespace, you know who to call.
Yeah. It's working out all right. It's working out. That's not too big a deal. So they've got well, here's what I like about Squarespace is they've already got built in like the point of sale for when I go somewhere. So my website inventory, my physical where I'm at, whatever, it tracks it all into the same spot. So
you're paying monthly for.
I am, yeah.
So just keep an eye out on that.
Yeah, I'm paying monthly for. Well, I pay for the year, but yeah, so I pay annually. But yeah, I'm paying for it. But it's cheaper to do that than it is for all the other stuff all the satellite stuff I was using. So.
Oh, debatable. But anyway, that's my cup of tea. If you need me, you know where I am.
Absolutely.
Happy to help.
All right. Anthony, what's up, brother?
Chilling, my brother, chilling. I don't got much going on right now, but you guys can go over to darkifcomics.com and Dark If Comics Presents on YouTube.
Nice.
We still got the sign-ups for Lightbringer 2 and Pariah going on, so that's always cool.
Yeah, check those things out.
Yeah.
They're going to be great. I'm positive you'll be able to get some more blacklight tapestries in the future.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, yeah, the Lightbringer 1 stuff is going up on the website store this week, if I have time. I'm working a lot this week, but hopefully I'll have that ready to launch. So if you missed out, you can grab the books, the tapestries, all that stuff on the darkifcomics.com website. So
very cool. Yeah, check that out, guys. Todd, what's up, man?
Yeah, so got a lot going on coming up pretty soon. With you and Ray, got the Fund My Comic going on, and looking forward to seeing that come to fruition. Got the What's My Story show that T Bunny and I are doing, and that's on Thursday night on Telepathic Bunny channel on YouTube, and got my Sword and Spirit story. That'll be launching early next year. I'm going to be launching the email list starting around the beginning of the year.
Yeah, so looking forward to that too. That sounds like it's going to be a fun book.
Yeah.
Here, I'll put a little circle. A smaller
circle. You can
circle.
find me at redshift_comics on Twitter.
And then maybe you can kiss Crispy for us. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
No.
Yeah, it's time to take a break. Look at that.
Because of where you're right in that corner.
Right in the corner. Having fun. I should close this thing and go to bed. Craig, what's up, man?
Yeah, that's all good. Thank you so much to everyone in the community. Everyone's been fantastic. Last 4 hours, my very first campaign. And again, it's just been a blast creating this book, learning how to do it by everybody in this community. And yeah, if you're interested, Soul Tack, my first book, 14 pages left to color, I think. Getting the print file from my printer any day. And I'm going to have this thing in people's hands, hopefully by March next year. Really quick turnover.
Sweet, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Well,
find me by Mad Ruth or Craig White on any social media platform, pretty much.
Yep, you can find me at lukestonestudios.com. That's lukestonestudios.com. Check it out. All the links to the really important stuff are over there. And hopefully here in the next day or two, I can have that stupid domain linked up to the Arrow store. I don't know why it's not doing it. Like normally, like right away. This is taking forever. It's get on my nerves.
If you've got issues with that, I can help you fix that as well.
Okay. Yeah. I'll get with you tomorrow on that. Not tonight. I'm going to bed. I'm going to bed. Yeah, check out LukeStoneStudios.com. I'll be back here Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time for Nerd Bacon. This week we're going to be talking about our favorite sidekicks, and I'm going to ruin a beloved Christmas song for everyone. So you're not going to miss out. That's 9 a.m. We go from about 9 to whenever. It's about 2-3 hours. It's a bona fide morning show. Yeah, we have a lot of fun. So come hang out with the panel that morning, and we'll be talking nerd and geek and comics and stuff like that. Think about your favorite sidekicks, and come let us know what you think. Give us your opinion, okay? And that's it, guys. Thanks for being here tonight. You know what I always say. Try to build up more than you tear down, leave the wood pile high and you found it. And, let's have a little fun with this circus we live in, huh?